Hey everyone, so today I'm just going to be doing a quick introduction video for Fortress Merge, which is a game that I'm going to be releasing additional guide videos covering different game mechanics and strategies over the next couple of weeks. So one thing I wanted to make a note on is Fortress Merge is actually a pretty new game, but I feel like the developers have a good base for the game and they're actively working on adding additional features. As the game is pretty new, there are a couple of bugs I've noticed here and there, but for the most part, the game functions really well. All the important game mechanics work fine, and I've enjoyed it so far. Right now, there's a couple of little bugs as far as like your heroes healing and stuff, but it's not causing a super big issue, and I still am able to complete the game, progress without any major issues. So the game is kind of a fun spin on a tower defense game. That's how a lot of this gameplay is going to work. So hopping into a level here, as far as the general gameplay, how the game works is you go through and you complete various levels. So I just hopped into one of the levels here. After the first few levels, most of the levels will have either 10 waves with a final boss at wave 10. And then every once in a while, you're going to have a level where you're going to have 13 waves with bosses at wave 8 and then wave 13. So as you play through each level, at the beginning of each wave, you're going to be given a set of 3 buildings you can go and place on your map. So I'm going ahead and placing one of those on my map here. These are going to either be like token production based, so like this mine here. They can also be walls for like defense. So this is a single wall. You can also get like a triple wall. So walls for defense, you can try and delay the enemy. And then you can have damage dealing like turrets or troop production buildings where your troops will go and attack the enemies. Or you can just get different utility buildings, kind of like the mine, but they can have things that will either buff your troops and your other buildings, or stuff that's just going to try and inhibit the enemy troops. So you also have the option to spend these gold tokens, which you produce through the game, either through the mine or just from wave to wave. And you can use these tokens to either get more buildings to re-roll, or to use these tokens in later waves to clear trees and get more space to place buildings. So you can also merge some of these buildings. So if I re-roll, I get more of these buildings. I have the option to take these walls and I can merge them together. They're both 1-star walls. I can now merge them and I can get a level 2 wall. They do have to be, in order to merge them, they have to be the exact same quality. So 2 level 1 walls get you a level 2, 2 level 2 walls get you a level 3, just like that works. So figuring out a good combination of building types and getting them all to fit in a defensive formation that protects your important buildings is something that will be very important to learn. So and what I mean as far as that, a good mixture of different buildings as far as turrets. So like my little Tesla turret here, a catapult, a troop production building like the ranch, and then just formatting these into a formation that I'm going to be able to deal lots of damage, as well as keeping my important buildings alive. So this castle right here, the one with the HP bar at the bottom of the screen, this is the main important building. You're going to want to keep this alive. If the enemies go and destroy this castle, then you lose the level. You can always go back and retry the level, but if this gets destroyed, you lose the level and you have to start all the way back from wave 1. But you also do want to just kind of structure your buildings in general and protect other good damage dealing buildings as well. So right here, I'm putting my catapult in the back because it has a good amount of range, and I do want to make sure it stays alive. I really do like my Tesla turret as well, but as of now, I don't really have many walls to just throw in front of it. So ideally, a lot of your heavy damage dealing buildings, you do just want to make sure those are out of harm's way. They don't get destroyed. One thing to know, as you'll find out pretty quickly, any buildings that get destroyed during combat are actually going to come back after that wave. So you don't have to worry too much about sacrificing buildings in order to shield out and other ones. So I can just place this level 2 wall at the front of my formation, just trying to give my other buildings plenty of time to deal damage. You can see it got destroyed right there, but at the beginning of the next wave, the building will come back. And then you can see here at the end of the wave, that wall did respawn. So it's not like I just wasted my wall. So any buildings that get destroyed, they come back, with the exception, obviously, of this castle. If that gets destroyed, then you've lost that level. So the tokens you get for rerolls, these golden tokens up at the top, they do carry over between waves, but they won't carry over between levels. So especially towards the end, so when I get closer to wave 9 or 10, I am definitely going to want to make sure I go and spend all of these tokens, just because it's not like I can save them for the next level. I do want to make sure I go and spend them all. Before, when I was talking about the buildings that respawn, the one thing that doesn't respawn necessarily is this hero. After wave 2 on any of these levels, you have the option to place a hero. It might take like level 4 or 5 before you unlock heroes, but if your hero dies during combat, it doesn't automatically respawn, although you can just watch an ad, and then that you'll be able to get that hero back on the next wave. But obviously your hero in between levels, you can get it back every time. But if it dies in this wave, on the next wave, I would have to either watch an ad or I just have to go without my hero. There are a bunch of other upgrades you can make within the game that provide you permanent bonuses, which can really just improve your chances of completing levels. These are going to include just leveling up your skill tree, which can provide you a host of just different benefits, upgrading your hero, as well as your gear equipped for your hero. This is definitely a really big one, especially later in the game. And then you can also upgrade the units that are produced from those 4 troop producing buildings. This is really nice just because any upgrades you make within here, anytime you have like that ranch that produces these horsemen, upgrading this just makes those horsemen that building produces a lot stronger. So that's it for this video, but I'll have several additional videos posted over the next couple weeks, just providing additional tips and information on the game. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.